I'm sorry, sir, but your livestock has been impounded for violating HOA ordinances and there's now a lien on your property. Those were the words that hit me like a punch to the gut right there in front of my own barn, while two tow trucks rolled off with steel trailers loaded down with my cows like they were junk cars from some abandoned lot. And let me tell you, I don't even live in an HOA. That was the day my life flipped upside down. I remember chasing after the trucks barefoot in gravel, yelling, "You can't do this. This is my land. This is Parker land, always has been." But the deputy just stared at me like I was another headache in a long line of headaches. "Take it up with the homeowners association, sir." That's when I realized this mess ran way deeper than just paperwork. Let me back up a sec. Name's James Parker. I'm 41 fourth generation on Parker Homestead, Arizona land that's been ours since before Arizona was even a state. Long before anyone ever thought up the idea of an HOA or a pool pass or some lady named Karen telling you how tall your grass can be. We're talking nearly 200 years of dust, sweat, cattle family and quiet sunrises. At least it was quiet until the world changed on us. 10 years back, the developers started pouring and paving desert scrub into Cactus Grove estates with their green lawns and cookie-cutter houses and an HOA badge like it meant something. I figured, fine, let them have their tract homes. I've got my 300 acres and a fence line between us. But you know how fences work. Folks keep pushing and lines start to blur. Trouble really started when Karen Whitmore moved in. She was the sort you could spot a mile away, tennis visor, clipboard polo shirt that practically screamed authority. She poked her head over my fence on move-in day. "You must be Mr. Parker. I'm president of the Cactus Grove HOA. Community meeting next Thursday. You'll need to attend." I laughed right in her face. "I'm not in your HOA, lady. This is Parker Homestead." She didn't even blink. "Every property that touches Cactus Grove must comply with our community standards." Like she was reading scripture. Didn't take long for the letters to start. Cactus Grove. HOA letterhead official as you please. Unapproved structures, excess livestock, rusted fencing, you name it. I ignored every one. The fines started next. $50, then $100, then $500 for nuisance animal noise, unsightly animal waste, even though there's not a community pathway within shouting distance of my barn. I showed the letters to my buddy Carl at the feed store. He nearly choked laughing. "You ain't under no HOA. James, they're bluffing." I thought so too until the county sent me a notice of lien, 14 grand. Turns out the HOA had filed something with the zoning board, claimed annexation due to boundary overlap. Without so much as a phone call, my land got swept onto the registry. Couldn't get my lawyer, he was out hunting elk. The county told me it was a civil matter. Next thing I know, strangers are stomping across my pasture with clipboards snapping photos. Western Livestock Compliance one said, "We're here to impound unauthorized livestock per HOA citation 47B. I told them they were out of their damn minds, but by afternoon a livestock trailer was in my pasture, flashing lights and all, herding my cows out with sticks like they were rustlers in the Old West. The sheriff showed up, told me if I interfered I'd be arrested. I showed him my deed tax records, didn't matter. Take it up with your association president." And there was Karen sipping diet soda in her golf cart, grinning like the devil. Actions have consequences, Mr. Parker. I stood there in the dust, powerless, until I spotted a for sale sign being hammered into my property line by Cactus Grove Realty, no less. That's when it clicked. They weren't just fining me, they were coming for my land. And I was done playing nice. But before I could catch my breath the next morning, I woke up to my water well padlocked red sticker slapped on the pump, condemned by HOA order. 100-year-old will never a problem, now condemned by people who weren't even supposed to set foot here. I called the county again, got a clerk named Ben. He sounded tired but honest. "Sir, the HOA filed an emergency injunction, claimed your well was contaminated, submitted tests from their own contractor. Never even saw a test happen. Court sided with them, slapped a restraining order on the well. 6 to 8 weeks to resolve, maybe longer. No cows, no water, a lien on my land. They were choking me out legal by legal. That night I drove 10 miles just to haul back water for my chickens and the one horse they hadn't towed yet. It felt like I was living on a ghost ranch. That's when I remembered Uncle Randy. Old war vet, my granddad's little brother, hated the government, hated HOAs worse. Told him what was going on, he almost dropped his cigar. They put a lien on Parker land and stole your cows. He shot up. Get in the truck. Next morning, we marched into the county clerk's office with land patents signed by President Andrew Jackson. No joke, 1829. Ain't nobody got the right to touch it, Randy barked. Clerk just blinked. Modern zoning overrides historical usage. Randy grinned. Then maybe it's time we change some modern laws. We spent all day in the archives. Turns out the HOA had been buying up easements and land rights trying to build a private golf resort and community center. We were just in their way. When I got home, a foreclosure notice was taped to my gate. Auction date 45 days. My legs about gave out right there. I sat in the old porch rocker looking at family photos my dad, granddad, me as a kid. All this was about to be wiped out for a fake community run by a real devil. Thought about giving up. Selling, starting over. But then I remembered something Karen had said. You're the last holdout. Once we remove you, all of this becomes Cactus Grove. That wasn't progress. That was theft. I decided right then I'd fight with everything I had. Turns out I wasn't alone. I started talking to neighbors. Turns out Karen was hitting all of us, one fined for too many roosters, another had her garden torn up, someone else's fence bulldozed. So I called a meeting. 30 folks showed up, old-timers, sun-baked, calloused, tired but angry. We swapped stories and realized we were all being bullied. That night we made a pact, no more folding. We'd fight together. Next morning, sirens blared. County crew at my gate with 2 deputies. By order of Cactus Grove HOA, we're demolishing unauthorized structures starting with your barn. The barn my granddad built with his own hands. Bulldozer's engine rumbled to life. I sprinted in front of it, waving my arms. This is private land. You want to bulldoze my family's history, you'll need more than a fake HOA order. Deputy threatened arrest. I pulled out my phone. State your name for the camera. Tell everyone why you're about to bulldoze a barn never under HOA control. That bluffed him. Shut it down, he told the crew. For now, I'd bought us time, not justice. We turned Carl's feed store into our war room, maps, notices, legal forms all over the counter. Miss Ellen down the road got fined for her curtains. Jim, a retired Air Force mechanic. My goat offends community aesthetics. We decided to fight fire with fire. We formed the Parker County Homefront Coalition, just a name, but it felt like something. I sent emails, called every news station, every land rights lawyer, every preservation group I could find. And the next day, Natalie Grant from KBLZ News called. I want to hear your story. She showed up with a cameraman, filmed everything, the barn, the locked well, even caught Karen waving in her golf cart. That night, our story ran on the evening news, historic ranch targeted by HOA. It went viral. Calls poured in, lawyers, neighbors, even the state university's historian James, your barn might qualify as a landmark. And then, of course, the HOA struck back, cease and desist orders, restraining order from Karen for threatening public safety court date in 2 days. Randy handed me a flash drive. Official county water tests. Your well's clean, always has been. Next thing, Lindsay, Carl's daughter, comes running, crying. They're bulldozing Miss Ellen's garden. I drove over like my hair was on fire. Sunflowers and roses flattened Ellen, standing in front of what's left, shaking. Karen sat in her SUV sipping iced coffee, smug as ever. I blocked the bulldozer phone out. You want another viral video of elder abuse and HOA overreach? Go ahead. The operator backed down. Crowd started forming, some from the HOA side, even filming, shouting, "This ain't right." Karen's mask slipped. "You'll regret this, Parker." I told her, "You'll be the one regretting it." That night we gathered in the barn, oil lamps, deeds, documents. Tomorrow was court. I wore my best denim, my granddad's bolo tie. Karen strolled in with a lawyer and that look people get when they think they own the world. But Natalie showed up too. Witness evidence, video footage, clean water reports, deed titles, photos of Ellen crying. When it was my turn, I spoke for all of us. I'm not just fighting for me. I'm fighting for every neighbor bullied by fake authority. Judge looked at Karen's lawyer, then at the evidence. The HOA has no legal claim. Lien is removed, all actions cease. This is being referred for prosecution. Karen exploded. We're just cleaning up the community. Judge shot her down. Security escorted her out. Thought the war was over. But when I got home, a letter was stuffed under my door. Enjoy your freedom, Mr. Parker. You'll need it. That night, the barn burned to the ground. No investigation, no justice. Just ashes and the ghost of my family's history in the air. But something happened next that I'll never forget. Carl showed up with tools. Jim brought lumber. Miss Ellen brought rose clippings from her ruined garden. For the first time in years, the town came together. By sunset, half the barn was rebuilt. Across the highway, a black SUV watched, then drove off when I waved. Next morning, a white sedan arrived. Man in a suit, James Parker, Alan Brooks Attorney General's office. The news had made it to the state capitol. AG was already looking into fake HOA land grabs, and ours was the proof. We want to make your case, the example, Brooks said. That day, Karen disappeared, house emptied, car left at the golf course. But the damage was done. A week later, 3 investigators showed up. We think Karen forged a sale of your land to Eagle Ridge Holdings. My signature, a dead man's notary, permits approved. It wasn't just HOA nonsense. It was organized fraud. We filed for an injunction, got a stay. But at 2 a.m., someone slashed my tires, left a dead chicken nailed to my gate with a note, "Back off," or "Next, it's the house." Sheriff shrugged. I didn't sleep, but I wasn't backing down. When court came, I laid out every bit of proof. Fake signatures, phony notary, trail cam footage of Ethan Whitmore breaking into my office. Judge froze the contract, ordered arrests. But by the time I got home, Randy was on the porch, bloody hand. Caught someone by the barn, got his phone. The phone held photos of our house, Ellen's trailer, legal docs, even meetings. They'd been watching us for weeks. I sent it all to Natalie. Her story went national. Senators called for investigations. The governor weighed in. But even then, Eagle Ridge sold my east pasture to a golf course developer set to break ground in the morning. That sunrise, the ranch was surrounded, neighbors, high schoolers, ranch hands, even folks from Phoenix who'd seen us on the news. Carl blocked the dirt road. Ellen guarded a not-for-sale sign. Randy stood shotgun in hand, more symbol than weapon. The bulldozers rolled in, but this time we had cameras, news vans, the sheriff on our side. The contractors tried to hand over papers. Sheriff saw the forged name. "If you move, I start arresting for trespassing." They backed down. Then, Eagle Ridge's lawyer pulled up, waving a federal order. Natalie stepped up, reading her phone. "Judge has issued a stay, no construction investigation pending." The crowd cheered. The contractors left. We all stood quiet, watching them go. Uncle Randy said, "Told you they didn't have the guts." For a second, the ranch felt safe, almost holy, like all those Parker generations were watching. But I know this isn't over, maybe never will be, not while folks like Karen and her kind can twist laws for profit. So let me ask you, what would you have done? When is it your land, your fight, your right to say enough? Leave your take in the comments, because this isn't just about Parker Homestead. This is happening all over America. Whose side are you on, justice or just the highest bidder?